Recently, a Patreon member asked Nate and Henry about the privacy of gift cards. Naturally, their answers were awful. However, before we pick apart their answers, let's go over why you buy gift cards with cash instead of your credit or debit cards.
Would you consider buying gift cards from a third-party source? They're specifically thinking of a discount website. Maybe an employer would provide that as an employee benefit. You would buy these gift cards on credit or debit and then use said gift cards online or in-store. Is that more private than just using your card or PayPal directly? Would it be any different buying a gift card from a supermarket with a card payment? I don't expect this method to be quite as private as cash or buying a voucher with cash, but I don't know if the transaction information can be almost as easily identified.
Gift cards are an excellent privacy tool, second only to cold hard cash. They can be used for purchases without requiring any personal information. Plus, gift cards are often limited to a single business, so even if your card is lost or stolen, it cannot be used at any other merchant. However, just like any other privacy tool, there's a right way and a wrong way to use them. Whenever you've made a physical purchase, have you ever taken a close look at the receipt? These little slips of paper have lots of information on them. In fact, the amount of information on them is scary. Let's take a look at a few. We'll start with this Walmart receipt. Starting at the top, here we have store information. This includes the physical address, name of the manager, store number, cashier number, register number, and transaction number. We haven't even gotten to the list of items yet, and already there's a ton of information about the store you visited. Here we have the type of payment, which in this case is EBT. For those who don't know, an EBT card is also known as food stamps or welfare. So now we know this particular person is a welfare recipient. This means the government has a record of who is named on the card, their purchase history with the card, as well as the time and location of each transaction. Chances are also good that third-party government contractors may be privy to this information too. Scrolling a little further, we can see more information about the transaction and the EBT account tied to the card. We can see the last 4 digits of the card number, as well as the card balance before and after the transaction. Then of course we have a timestamp of when the transaction took place and the number of items sold. Then there's the receipt number and accompanying barcode, both of which are used to access all the transaction data stored in Walmart's database. Just to be clear, if you use a debit or credit card, your balances won't be printed on the receipt. This seems to be done only for EBT cards and gift cards. With credit and debit cards, your bank has access to a limited amount of transaction information. This includes the merchant name, transaction amount, the timestamp, and the location the transaction took place. For example, the bank doesn't see an itemized list of items you purchased in the transaction. However, if you use something like Walmart's Money Card, it wouldn't be a stretch to assume they could easily see everything you bought in a transaction at Walmart. In this respect, a gift card issuer can also see the transaction history of the card, but not necessarily the finer details of the transaction. However, this applies to general use gift cards such as prepaid Visa and MasterCard gift cards. If you use a Starbucks gift card, it's safe to assume Starbucks can see the balance and all the transaction details, including what you ordered. If you use any type of rewards card during the transaction, now your personal information is tied to that transaction and the privacy aspect of the gift card has been removed. Even if you registered with fake information, the address where the rewards card was mailed to is still on file. This all probably seems confusing, doesn't it? Let's try to clear this up with a scenario. Let's say you're buying food from a grocery store. You choose to pay for your items with cash. The only data available to the merchant about the transaction are the timestamp, store location, transaction number, and cash as the payment method. No personal information is exchanged. Let's use the same scenario. However, this time you decide to pay with a debit or credit card. Now the store can see the name of your bank, your card number, and possibly your ID if the cashier needs to verify the name on the card. Likewise, your bank gets the merchant's name, location, and timestamp of the transaction, which is then added to your monthly bank statement. Your bank doesn't know what exactly you bought, just the total amount you spent. So what about gift cards? They're like debit cards, except they can be acquired with cash and without submitting any personal information like you would for a bank card. You pay cash for the gift card and no personal information is exchanged. Then you use the gift card to purchase your groceries. The store still gets all the same data as before, and the merchant you bought the gift card from gets the same data that a bank would for a debit card purchase. However, nobody has any of your personal information. If you purchase a gift card directly from the store, then the store retains all the data. For example, you buy a Starbucks gift card directly from Starbucks, they get all the data associated with the gift card. But Starbucks still doesn't get any personal information from you. There are some caveats that are worth mentioning. Using a rewards card or a phone app on the purchase negates the privacy aspects of using a gift card. Because rewards cards require a physical address to be sent to, this information is tied to the rewards account, even if all other information is fake. Gift cards and cash also won't hide you from other forms of surveillance like security cameras, car tracking, cell phone tracking, smartwatch and fitness trackers, etc. Even rewards apps track their users by requiring them to be within distance of a store before accepting a mobile order. The McDonald's app is a great example of this. Going back to the original Patreon question, can you spot why purchasing gift cards with a debit card or PayPal is a bad idea?
Our first question comes from The Dressing Gown. Would you consider buying gift cards from a third-party source? They're specifically thinking of a discount website. Maybe an employer would provide that as an employee benefit. You would buy these gift cards on credit or debit and then use said gift cards online or in-store. Is that more private than just using your card or PayPal directly?
Aside from the debit card issue, now you're tying your job credentials to a third-party website. We've seen how often employers vet these third-party services for privacy and security, so how do you know your employer is any better? I understand it's just more convenient to buy online versus having to physically get cash out and buy a gift card in a store. Really, I get it. However, it sounds like the user is trying to justify laziness as still being private. Outside of being disabled or living far from a retail store, there's really no excuse not to take the time to buy gift cards the right way. Despite Henry and Nate's attitude, cash isn't dead yet. So why are we treating it like it already is?
If you can buy the gift cards on a discount, you're saving money technically, and it's still technically more private.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
It's only more private when you buy gift cards with cash. You're also not even saving a significant amount of money. Most of the time, a discount is only available if you buy a pack of multiple cards. Additionally, most gift cards have an activation fee on top of purchasing the gift card. I'm not saying discounted gift cards don't exist, but you'll definitely need to hunt around for deals. Now let's tie this all together. Can gift cards be private? Yes, they can be private as long as you acquire and use them the right way. This means purchasing the gift cards with cash and not a debit or credit card. Do not use reward cards or mobile apps with the gift card, as this will tie location data to the account being used. Don't expect to save much money on gift cards unless you buy them in a multi-pack.